We have a big zoo update coming to you right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Built from Bricks. I'm Brian, and today I'm bringing you a big zoo update. You've been asking for zoo updates. I did one a couple weeks ago, and now I have another zoo update. A lot of changes. I was at Philly Breakfast this weekend, and I needed some new enclosures for the zoo. I had brought a lot of changes to it, but I wanted to add a hippo enclosure. I just got inspired by somebody else. I had seen a picture of a hippo, so I made this nice little brick-built hippo here, and I thought it was pretty cool with the pieces that I have. It does have some teeth and its tongue there. Made this enclosure, and also in a hippo enclosure you need islands, so there is a little island there. You got the mud, some sand, and gizmos on top of it right now for some reason. And a big part of this was Steve had created this wall enclosure. So on the back here you can see this large log wall, and it's covered with ivy. And I thought it was a nice touch to the zoo, and if you look really close you can see poison ivy standing there. She may appear in a different spot in a couple days, we'll see. Next we have an elephant enclosure, but there's no elephant. I don't really like the elephant in Lego, the Lego elephant. They do have a Duplo and it's really cute. I was trying to keep less of the cute and more realistic. So now we have a realistic Triceratops, because we know we see Triceratopses all the time in the zoo. Well, this Triceratops is from the original movie. If you think about Jurassic Park, there was a sick Triceratops in the original movie, and that's what we're trying to replicate here. He's sick. There's a nurse in there. We have Steven Spielberg in there. Someone's trying to clean up this big pile of, I won't say, and apparently the maintenance people thought it was a good idea to mow the lawn at the same time. So I really like this enclosure. I like the way it was designed. It's a simple design with bars and logs. We did make a little gate that opens and closes to get access to the zoo, to this little enclosure. And there's some details with some plants, and there will be more to come in all of these exhibits, but for now this is what we have. And speaking of dinosaurs, we do have this lovely dinosaur exhibit right here. We have a few of the new dinosaurs from the new Jurassic World sets. They're really cool looking. We have the Dilophosaurus and that, I don't want to say the other name, the Cephalosaurus, I don't remember the name of it. But again, an homage to Jurassic Park. It is almost feeding time in the zoo, and you can see that they're lowering little Miss Black and White Cow there into the enclosure because they do have to eat at one point. I thought it was really cool. I did combine two of the new sets together to make this enclosure, and that way I had a nice enclosure, and it is electrified, so you don't want to touch this, and that's good because you don't want those dinosaurs getting out, although it does look like someone forgot to close the gate. Moving on from there, we do have this little sitting area, and there is a nice little meat-eating plant right here who is looking awfully curious at that little baby, and the mom's not paying attention. But behind that is the new tiger exhibit. There is a man or boy in there, Jay, who is taking a selfie with a tiger behind him, who happens to have a bunny on top of him. Not a very good idea. I did add this enclosure in here because it was part of the bear exhibit, and the bear exhibit was a little too large, so I wanted to create some more spaces in the zoo, and I really love these tigers and lions that they've made in the new jungle theme for Lego. We do have the alligator exhibit right here, and I wanted to start there because it wasn't finished the last time. You have a couple alligators in here. There's got one with a chicken in his mouth, and it looks to be a lost camper with a compass. Not going to do him very good in the alligator exhibit, but he's there. As well, we have Indy up there and Han Solo. So moving over, we have parts of the jungle set, which I incorporated into a nice little leopard enclosure. So we got one leopard in the enclosure right now. He's looking around at the people walking by. There is some plants in there. There's some rock for him to climb on. There is a sunbather in there, which is probably not the smartest idea as well. And then if you look in the center, we have this tree, which is part of the Ewok village. I'm actually planning to make this with more branches coming out to make it a kind of like a tree of life in the center of the zoo right there. I like how that would be a centerpiece for the zoo. We can add all kinds of animals on it. You'll have another Indiana Jones figure up there, Mola Ram, if you remember him. We also needed a little green space in the zoo, so I added this little section of green space. We start over here with a couple camels. Kids can get on a camel and take their pictures. The camels will have their own exhibit at one point, but for now they're roaming free, just as well as these ostriches are roaming free through the zoo because they don't have an enclosure. But they're pretty tame, they won't hurt anybody. And here is one of my favorite parts of the zoo, which is the hamburger stand. So, we have this hamburger stand here, and if you can see inside, we do have a couple hamburgers cooking on the grill. They're pink because they're not ready yet. But I thought this was a cool design. I haven't seen a hamburger stand before, and it has the nice bun on top. It has some lettuce, tomato, and I did see one on Lego Ideas, a little bit different than this. I think mine's cooler, and I think it was a good addition to the zoo. So let's talk a little bit about this picnic table. There's a reason there are these 4 or 5 figures sitting here. So we have myself as in the Built from Bricks with my hat. We have Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. We have Deadpool and we have Deathstroke, as well as Thanos, who's too big to fit at the picnic table, so he's standing outside. The reason for all these figures is they all represent my family. Me, as Built from Bricks. We have Harley Quinn, which is my next tattoo on my arm, which you may have seen from the live stream. Thanos is for my wife, that's her maiden name, and she's also a tattoo. Deadpool is a tattoo that I have on my leg, and I'm not sure if I've shown it off before, but that was for my son. And then we have Deathstroke, who is my future tattoo for my other son. So these are all basically for my family. They're sitting at a picnic table, and it represents all of the tattoos I have in Lego form on myself. And moving along, I forgot to mention one thing, which is this ape. He's not grape ape. He's a big ape, though. And I need an ape exhibit in the zoo, and I found this at the yard sale at Philly Brick Fest. So I picked them up for a good price with the entire set. And I'm going to build a gorilla enclosure at one point, along with some chimpanzees, perhaps. I'm not sure where in the zoo it's going, but for right now, he's doing what big, large gorillas do, and they climb large towers, and that's what he did in the zoo right now, and keep an eye out for future updates with what happens to him. So that's the latest zoo update. Like I said, it was a pretty big update. I do like some of the stuff I added to the zoo. I do need to change a little bit of it. Some things were a little bit quirky with the way they fit together or loose when I'm moving them, so there'll be changes, but for the most part, this is the layout of the zoo. I have plans to expand further, so there'll be another 3 base plates, and that'll come along in the next couple of months, or not sure how long. Don't rush me, it will be there, so I know that you guys love the zoo, and I'm happy about that, so let me know what you think about this, and don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at BuiltFromBricks, as well as our live stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see what we may be building or talking about or reviewing that day. Thanks for watching. What have you built today?